Chosen one. Heaven leans close to you right now. You feel it in the stillness around you. The way your spirit suddenly sharpens, as if something unseen gently takes hold of your shoulders and whispers, "Pay attention, because today, yes, today you did something that made God laugh in victory. You thought it was small. You thought it was ordinary. But heaven did not see it that way. God saw the moment your heart shifted, the moment your choice cut through darkness like a blade of light, and all of heaven exhaled with joy. You are not here by coincidence. You are not listening by mistake. Something in the unseen realm has opened, and heaven has paused the noise around you to say, "Chosen one, you have no idea what you just set in motion. You moved differently today. You resisted something that once controlled you. You walked away from a familiar trap. You forgave when bitterness begged to stay. You chose peace where your past trained you to choose war. And at that exact moment, darkness flinched. You may not realize how rare that is. You may not realize how powerful you are becoming. But heaven does. God does. And that is why there is a smile over your life right now, a victorious one, a knowing one, a smile that says, "They're finally stepping into who I called them to be." And in that heavenly smile, you begin to feel the weight of every battle you survived shifting into purpose. Every scar starts to glow with meaning. Heaven witnesses your resilience, your quiet endurance, your unspoken strength, and calls it holy. You are rising into the identity hell never wanted you to discover, because when God smiles over you, it is never casual. It is a declaration in the spirit realm that your destiny has advanced another step forward. His laughter signals victory. His delight signals breakthrough. And his joy signals that the forces working against you have just been overruled by divine authority. Because when God smiles over you, it is never casual. It is a declaration in the spirit realm that your destiny has advanced another step forward. His laughter signals victory. His delight signals breakthrough. And his joy signals that the forces working against you have just been overruled by divine authority. As Jesus himself declared in the Gospel of Matthew, chapter 21, verse 21, "If you have faith and do not doubt, even if you say to this mountain, be lifted up and thrown into the sea, and chosen one, that mountain you push today, maybe with trembling hands, maybe with fear in your chest, maybe with doubt still whispering at you, it moved, not all at once, not visibly yet, but spiritually it shifted. Heaven felt it. Angels responded. Darkness recoiled. And God laughed, not at you, but for you, with the delight of a father watching his child finally kick down the gate meant to hold them back, with the joy of seeing his chosen rise when everything in life tried to bury them, with the victory of knowing the enemy just lost another grip on your destiny. You have no idea how many traps were set for you today. If you saw the warfare that moved around your name, the discussions in the shadows, the whispers sent to pull you off track, you would already be on your knees, thanking God for the strength he placed inside you. But you resisted. You stood tall even when your knees were shaking. And because of that, something ancient broke today. Something heavy loosened. Something old lost its authority. You stepped into a version of yourself that hell has feared for a long time. Listen, chosen one. Heaven is watching what you do next. You've awakened something powerful. And now, I need you to stay aligned. I need you to keep walking in that identity. And if this word is reaching you in the exact moment your spirit is waking up, then pause and breathe, because you are not alone and you are not unseen. God's eyes are on you. His hand is over you. His purpose is stirring inside of you right now. If this message is speaking to you, if you can feel that tug, that electricity, that this is for me, echo in your chest, then don't hesitate. Support this channel so you never miss what heaven is trying to deliver to you. Like, share, comment, and make sure you are subscribed, because you are stepping into a season where every prophetic word matters, every confirmation counts, and every divine message is part of your awakening. Chosen one. Before you move to the next section, heaven wants a sign of agreement from you. If your spirit is open, if you're ready, if you receive what was released over you right now, comment 111. You move into the next breath of this divine unfolding. Chosen one. Without even realizing how the small act you carried out today has already begun to echo across realms you cannot see. What you thought was insignificant, so tiny it almost slipped from your own memory, became a spiritual earthquake, a shift, a crack in a wall that has surrounded you for years. You didn't announce it. You didn't tell anyone. You simply made a choice that came from a purer place, a deeper place, a place that heaven has been patiently waiting for you to reach. You think it was small, but heaven measured it differently, because God saw the roots of that moment. He saw what you overcame internally just to take that one step. He saw the heaviness you pushed through, the hesitation you silenced, the fear you ignored, the old habits you refused to bow to. You think you barely moved, but spiritually, you jumped forward. You need to understand this. In the kingdom of God, small obedience often carries more weight than loud actions. Heaven is not moved by performance. Heaven is moved by purity, not by grand gestures, but by surrendered ones. And what you offered today, your quiet yes, the one no one else witnessed, was powerful enough to shift the trajectory of your path. According to what is revealed in the book of Proverbs, chapter 16, verse 3, commit to the Lord whatever you do, and He will establish your plans. Those weren't just words written long ago. They describe exactly what took place the moment you made that small but holy choice today. Heaven established something. Heaven secured something. Heaven placed a foundation stone beneath your feet that was not there yesterday. Imagine this. Your single act of obedience became a signal flare in the spirit. Angels turned. Darkness recoiled. The atmosphere around your destiny rearranged itself. You didn't feel the quake, but the unseen realm did. You didn't hear the breaking, but chains you've carried since childhood heard it and trembled. You didn't see the shift, but resistance that once felt impossible just lost another percentage of its power. The enemy has always feared your small obedience because he knows something you haven't fully understood yet. Consistency in the small unleashes authority in the great. You are walking into a version of yourself that hell has dreaded for years. Not because of one giant act, but because you're finally realizing that every little step you take toward God becomes a blow to darkness. Today, when you chose differently, when you responded with discipline instead of impulse, when you stayed calm where chaos once dominated, when you paused instead of sabotaging yourself, when you held your tongue instead of letting anger lead, something ancient within you snapped loose. This is why the enemy fought your mind so hard before that moment. This is why you felt resistance over something that should have been easy. Hell doesn't waste energy fighting meaningless decisions. The warfare around you earlier was proof that your choice carried weight. You didn't just break a cycle. You didn't just shift your life. You tilted the balance of a spiritual war you didn't even realize you were winning. Heaven watches you now with a deep, knowing stillness. God sees the path you just unlocked. There are blessings, opportunities, revelations, alignments, and divine connections that were previously blocked because your spirit wasn't positioned to receive them. But today's obedience turned the key, and now something begins to ripple outward. Not loudly, not dramatically, but steadily, like the first quiet waves after a stone hits the surface of still water. Your future feels the vibration. Your next season feels the pull. The version of you waiting 6 months from now already feels strengthened because of what you did today. Don't underestimate what one choice can do. David wasn't crowned after slaying a giant. He was crowned because, long before that, he chose faithfulness in the small places. The Bible isn't a book of overnight victories. It is a book of tiny decisions that led to miraculous destinies, and you are walking in that same pattern. Heaven doesn't look at today and see randomness. Heaven looks at today and sees alignment. You are aligning your life with God in a way that makes the enemy nervous. You are aligning with your purpose in a way that heaven has waited for. You are aligning with the truest version of yourself, the one born before the foundation of the world. The one formed for more than survival, more than fear, more than cycles that never led anywhere. And now that the ripple has begun, there is no stopping it. Even if you doubt yourself tomorrow, even if you feel weak the day after, even if you stumble later, today's obedience planted something durable, something spiritual, something that grows even when you don't feel strong. This is how destiny unfolds, not through perfection, but through persistence. You move into the next layer of revelation. Chosen one. And this time, heaven wants to show you the exact moment. Yes, the precise second when hell flinched because of what you did today. You didn't see it, but the spirit realm reacted instantly. There was a shift, a tremor, a sudden tightening in the atmosphere of darkness, the very moment your heart chose alignment over temptation, discipline over impulse, obedience over comfort. You need to understand something vital. Hell watches you, not because you are weak, but because you are dangerous. There is something about you, your resilience, your endurance, your unexplainable sensitivity to God's voice that makes the kingdom of darkness study you carefully. They wait for opportunities, weaknesses, openings. But today, something didn't go as they planned. Today, there was a moment when the enemy expected you to fall into an old pattern. He expected you to respond like your past self. He expected the wound, the memory, the emotion, the weakness, or the familiar cycle to rise up and drag you back. But it didn't. Instead, you hesitated. You posed. You shifted. You said no, without even realizing you said it. You turned away, walked away, or chose differently, and that split second was enough to send a shockwave through the realm of darkness. That was the moment hell flinched. The Spirit spoke through the prophet Jeremiah. Chapter 20, verse 11. But the Lord is with me as a mighty warrior, so my persecutors will stumble and not prevail. Isn't chosen one. This scripture wasn't just written for ancient days. It describes what unfolded in your life today. The enemy stumbled. His plan cracked. His confidence shook. He realized that you are not the same person he fought last year, last month, or even last night. Something in you has strengthened, matured, awakened, and that awakening terrifies darkness. Hell's greatest weapon against you was always predictability. If they could predict your reaction, they could control your outcome. But today, you broke the pattern. You created spiritual confusion. They expected collapse. You chose endurance. They expected anger. You chose calm. They expected distraction. You chose focus. They expected impulse. You chose self-control. They expected silence. You chose truth. They expected retreat. You took a step forward. For the first time in a long time, darkness felt uncertainty about you. And uncertainty in the spirit realm is a sign of their fear. As soon as you made that choice, heaven recorded it. That moment was etched into your spiritual timeline as a turning point. Angels leaned in. The atmosphere around your purpose shifted. And God, seeing that tiny moment, declared victory over your day. You may not feel powerful, but obedience always releases power. You may not feel holy, but surrender always attracts heaven. You may not feel renewed, but discipline always signals maturity in the spirit. Hell flinched because you grew, not loudly, not publicly, but internally. Spiritual growth doesn't announce itself with fireworks. It announces itself in moments like today, when you react differently and don't even realize why. And this is only the beginning. What you did today didn't just stop one attack. It interrupted a pattern. A pattern hell relied on. A pattern your ancestors struggled with. A pattern your past reinforced. A pattern your weakness once protected. And when you broke the pattern, you broke the rhythm of darkness around your life. You have no idea the level of authority that is forming inside you. You have no idea how many battles you will win simply because you are starting to make different choices in the quiet moments when no one is watching. Those unseen victories are the ones that build spiritual giants. There will come a day, you'll remember this word, when you look back at this exact decision and realize it was the start of breakthrough. It was the seed, the pivot, the silent beginning of something loud. But right now, heaven needs you to acknowledge what your spirit already knows. You are rising. You are maturing. You are becoming dangerous to darkness. And because of that, I want you to participate in something simple yet spiritually powerful. A declaration. A comment that seals what happened today, not for the algorithm, not for me, but for the agreement between your spirit and heaven. Chosen one. Comment. I rise below. Just 2 words. Und erfuhr. But these 2 words are a spiritual signature. When you type them, you acknowledge the shift. You acknowledge that you are stepping into a new posture, a new strength, a new identity. And that awakening terrifies darkness. Hell's greatest weapon against you was always predictability. If they could predict your reaction, they could control your outcome. But today, you broke the pattern. You created spiritual confusion. They expected collapse. You chose endurance. They expected anger. You chose calm. They expected distraction. You chose focus. They expected impulse. You chose self-control. They expected silence. You chose truth. They expected retreat. You took a step forward. You stepped deeper. Now, chosen one, into the realm heaven wished you could see today. Because while you were going about your ordinary tasks, while your hands touched normal things, while your mind processed familiar routines, something extraordinary was unfolding in the unseen. You had no idea the level of movement happening around your spirit. You had no idea the number of angels positioned for your protection, nor the attempts made by darkness to interfere, nor the divine interventions that unfolded in silence while you simply did what felt right. Heaven wants you to understand that your life is never as quiet as it seems. There are layers upon layers surrounding you, spiritual architecture and visible pathways, warnings you never heard, guidance you never realized you followed. You don't see it, but the unseen realm studies you more closely than the visible world ever will. Every emotion you feel, every temptation you resist, every whisper of intuition you follow is part of a much larger spiritual conversation. Today, when you took that small but powerful step of obedience, the unseen realm reacted immediately. A shift occurred. Angels who had been waiting for your agreement stepped into motion. Doors you thought were stuck suddenly loosened, not physically, but spiritually. And blockages, some emotional, some generational, some whispered into your life years ago, began to dissolve under the weight of your decision. We are reminded through the writings of David in the Psalms, chapter 91, verse 11, "For he will command his angels concerning you to guard you in all your ways." If only you could witness the way certain traps that were meant to catch you simply collapsed under angelic intervention. If only you knew how many accidents, missteps, emotional spirals, or destructive impulses were rerouted before they reached you. You call it a good day. Heaven calls it a delivered one. In the unseen realm, there is strategy. Every attack against you is calculated, but so is every protection. There are spiritual meetings about your destiny, darkness plotting your downfall, heaven defending your rise. Your life is not random. Your day is not simple. What you feel as intuition is often the voice of God. What you feel as heaviness is often the whisper of an attack. What you feel as sudden peace is often the presence of angels standing near. Today, when you made that choice, small as it was, do you know what happened? A gate shifted. A spiritual gate connected to your path, your identity, and your next season. These gates don't respond to force, they respond to alignment. And when the gate shifted, as subtle as it was, the entire road ahead of you rearranged. You broke something old, something silent, something that had been tying itself around your steps for years. And when it broke, the unseen realm erupted in motion. Angels stepped forward. Demonic forces stepped back. The atmosphere, the energy, the feel of your future changed shape. This is what the unseen realm looks like when a chosen one shifts inside. You didn't feel the earthquake, because spiritual earthquakes don't shake the ground. They shake timelines. They shake destinies. They shake invisible barriers that would have slowed you down had you not obeyed. And then there is the other side, the side darkness felt. You need to know that the enemy is never passive. Every time you make progress, resistance forms. But today, resistance could not hold its shape. Your obedience weakened the grip. Your clarity disrupted confusion, and your internal shift made the enemy lose confidence in the methods he once relied on. There was a moment today, just a brief flicker, where hell realized something frightening. You're not returning to the version of yourself they built strategies around. That moment changed your spiritual ranking. It changed how heaven sees you and how darkness must approach you. The unseen realm treats you differently now. Heaven honors maturity. Darkness respects growth, whether you realize it or not. Today, you stepped into a different tier of spiritual authority. Not loud authority, not showy authority, but silent authority, the kind that shifts atmospheres without you speaking a word. You walk into rooms, and things will feel different now, not because the room changed, but because you did. The unseen realm responds to who you are becoming, not who you were. And today marked a quiet graduation, a spiritual advancement you didn't even know you were part of. You are walking into deeper waters now, but you are not walking alone. The unseen realm is alive around you, and heaven is moving with intentionality because of the choice you made today. You step now into a moment where heaven marks you. Chosen one, not with ink, not with symbols, but with spiritual weight, an unseen crown, Akiet fire, a glow that darkness recognizes instantly. Today's obedience didn't just shift the atmosphere around you, it marked you as unstoppable. You may not feel like a warrior, but heaven sees you differently now. Heaven sees the scars you hid, the battles you didn't speak of, the nights you held on by a thread, and calls you victorious. There is an image heaven keeps showing over your life, a lamp carried through the wilderness, not a blazing torch, not a spotlight, just a steady flame in your hands. And yet, every creature of the night trembles at that tiny flame. That is you, quiet strength, silent endurance, gentle obedience. And still, darkness steps back when you enter a space. As the ancient words recorded in Romans, chapter 8, verse 31 declare, "If God is for us, who can be against us?" That verse is not a poetic phrase, it is the spiritual reality surrounding you right now. The marking over your life today is not just for protection, it's for authority. You have stepped into a realm where your presence disrupts shadows without you saying a single word. You've walked through seasons where people overlooked you, used you, misunderstood you, or assumed your silence meant weakness. But heaven always knew better. Heaven has been preparing you, like a blacksmith prepares steel heat. Pressure, hammer, repeat. And now the blade within you is taking shape. Today's choice was the moment the metal cooled, revealing strength you didn't know you had. Chosen one, you are not who you were, and that is why the marking matters. Heaven sees you as a lighthouse on a stormy shore. You don't chase ships, you simply stand. And those in darkness find direction by your existence. You don't try to shine, you just do. And in doing so, you expose every hidden wave meant to pull you under. But hear me, even a lighthouse needs care. Even the strongest flame needs oil. Even the tallest tree needs water. And just as creation requires nourishment, so does your spiritual journey. You are giving. You are growing. You are rising. And every rising soul needs a place to anchor themselves. This is why your presence here matters so deeply. The messages you receive, the clarity that unlocks you, the confirmations that strengthen you, these moments are part of your spiritual nourishment. And if these words have been feeding your spirit, lifting your heart, or guiding you through darkness, then I invite you to help keep this flame burning, not out of pressure, not out of obligation, but the same way someone places a stone at the foot of a tree whose shade has protected them, an offering of gratitude. If these messages have blessed you, consider supporting through a like, a share, a subscribe, or even a donation. Each act becomes another drop of oil, keeping the flame alive. Think of it as tending the lighthouse that has helped you navigate your storms. Small gestures from you become beams of light for someone else searching for their way home. Even a single share is like handing a lantern to somebody stumbling in the dark. A simple like is like adding another coal to a fire that keeps many warm. A subscription is like planting a seed in soil that keeps producing fruit. A donation, no matter how small, is like pouring a few drops of oil into the lamp so its glow doesn't fade. Every gesture keeps the message alive, not just for you, but for others who are as lost as you once were. Remember, heaven marks those who step into their purpose, but purpose grows in community. You are part of something bigger than yourself, something heaven is building, one obedient heart at a time. And the marking over your life today, it is only the beginning. You are becoming the kind of soul that darkness cannot predict, cannot manipulate, cannot restrain. You are becoming the person heaven can trust with deeper assignments, greater clarity, and stronger foundations. You are stepping into spiritual influence, not flashy influence, not worldly influence, but divine influence, the kind that moves in silence yet shakes the unseen. Stand in it, grow in it. Let your light rise without apology, and as you do, heaven watches with pride, with joy, with victory, knowing that what marked you today will carry you into everything God has prepared for your next season. You step now into the unfolding ripple, yes, the prophetic ripple that began the moment you made that choice earlier today. Chosen one, because what you did not stay contained inside the present moment. It stretched, it moved, it traveled through layers of your future, like a stone dropped into still water. You didn't feel it, but team did. Your timeline felt the shift. Your destiny felt the vibration. Your next season responded like a field of wheat bending beneath a sudden wind. When heaven speaks about destiny, it never speaks in isolated moments. God speaks in patterns, in sequences, in ripples. And today, your obedience became the first ring, the one that pushed outward into spaces you have yet to walk into. You are touching your future without even realizing it. According to the prophet Elijah, as recorded in the first book of Kings, chapter 18, verse 41, "Go up, eat and drink, for there is the sound of abundance of rain." That scripture is not just a historical moment, it's a revelation for you right now. Heaven is telling you, something is coming, something is shifting, something is approaching your life that you cannot yet see but can already sense. That expectation you feel in your spirit, that strange stirring in your chest, that quiet sense of change is near. It's not imagination, it's alignment. The ripple you created today has awakened movement in realms you have not stepped into yet. Decisions that were dormant are being activated. Blessings that were delayed are being released. Opportunities that were stuck behind spiritual blockages are now sliding into position. Heaven is rearranging the timeline so that what once seemed far will now begin to draw near. But understand this clearly. Prophetic ripples are not loud. They are subtle. They begin quietly, like the faint vibration you feel when a distant storm is gathering. You don't see the rain yet. You don't hear the thunder. But the air changes. The atmosphere thickens. The wind shifts direction. Something moves before something arrives. That's what's happening to you now. The ripple is moving through relationships, detaching you from people who were slowing your spiritual growth, while preparing divine connections who will sharpen you, lift you, challenge you, and match your purpose. The ripple is moving through your habits, gently pushing out what drains your spirit, while drawing you toward disciplines you once avoided but are now suddenly craving. The ripple is moving through your emotions, bringing healing to wounds you forgot existed, clarity to confusion that has lingered too long, and courage to places inside you that once felt fragile. The ripple is moving through your calling, aligning your desires, sharpening your intuition, intensifying your spiritual sensitivity, and preparing you for responsibilities you once feared but are now beginning to feel ready for. This is not random. This is not luck. This is not coincidence. This is alignment pure. Unmistakable alignment between heaven's intention and your obedience. And with every ripple, heaven invests more into your future. You're no longer moving alone. You're moving with divine momentum. That is why your spirit feels like it's waking up. That is why your dreams feel different. That is why your thoughts have a new clarity. When prophetic ripples move, the soul responds. There is a reason you're beginning to outgrow things that once satisfied you. There is a reason certain conversations feel heavier than before. There is a reason certain people no longer have the same influence over you. There is a reason peace feels more familiar than chaos now. Your spirit is catching up to your calling. You are not stepping into the future, you are pulling it toward you. Heaven is accelerating certain things because you showed maturity, obedience, and readiness in ways heaven had been waiting for. And now, the timeline shifts. Chosen one. Before this section ends, I want you to anchor this ripple with a declaration. Not a long one, not complicated, just a number one that marks agreement in the spirit. One that seals what began today. One that tells heaven, I receive the ripple, I align with the shift. Comment 444 below. This number signifies establishment, stability, and divine order settling into your path. It is the number of a foundation heaven is strengthening beneath your feet. When you type it, you are not just commenting, you are agreeing. You are responding to what your spirit already knows is true. Your future is changing shape. Your path is becoming clearer. Your timeline is accelerating, and heaven is moving with you. You step now into the deeper truth of what happened today. Chosen one, a truth you may not have connected yet. But heaven wants you to see clearly. Your decision did not simply shift your personal atmosphere, it reached backward. It touched the roots. It pressed into the soil of your bloodline, and something ancient, something heavy, something generational broke. The moment you obeyed, there are patterns you were born into, cycles you never agreed to, battles you didn't choose but still had to fight. Some of the struggles you faced in your childhood, the fears you carried, the emotional weights that made no sense. These were not just personal burdens. They were inherited shadows, passed silently from one generation to the next. Shadows your family learned to live with. Shadows they normalized. Shadows that shaped their reactions, their decisions, their failures, their pain. But heaven didn't place you in that bloodline to repeat the old patterns. Heaven placed you there to end them. Heaven speaks clearly through the words in Deuteronomy, chapter 7, verse 9. He is the faithful God, keeping his covenant of love to 1,000 generations of those who love him and keep his commands. Yes, that promise didn't hover over your ancestors. It landed on you today. You are the covenant keeper in your line. You are the breaker of cycles. You are the one who says, "This ends with me." Oh, and that is exactly what your obedience triggered. Because generational patterns don't break loudly. They don't crack like thunder. They don't scream as they fall apart. They break quietly at the exact moment someone chooses differently than everyone who came before them. Today, when you shifted, when you made that small, holy choice, when you resisted what was familiar but destructive, a generational shadow lost its strength. Something that sat on your family for decades felt the ripple of your obedience, and it loosened. You may not realize it, but the struggles you faced since childhood weren't just random battles. They were symptoms of a curse trying to continue. Patterns like reacting from fear instead of wisdom, choosing K's over peace, sabotaging blessings without understanding why, carrying burdens you didn't create, being drawn to people who broke you, repeating emotional cycles year after year, feeling responsible for everyone's pain but your own, sensing spiritual heaviness. Others didn't notice. These weren't personality traits. They were inherited battles. And today, heaven watched you break one of them. When your spirit matured, the curse weakened. When you chose alignment, the pattern fractured. When you responded differently, the shadow trembled. You are not just growing spiritually, you are rewriting the entire direction of your bloodline. You are the one heaven chose to step into clarity where others lived in confusion. You are the one heaven trusted to see truth where others stayed blind. You are the one heaven empowered to carry strength where others carried shame. You are the one heaven positioned to win battles your ancestors never knew how to fight. This is why your journey has felt heavier. This is why your warfare has been intense. This is why your emotions have stretched deeper than others around you. This is why your calling has felt like a burden at times. You were fighting for more than yourself. You were fighting for deliverance that would touch your children, and their children, and their children after them. Something that sat on your family for decades felt the ripple of your obedience, and it loosened. You may not realize it, but the struggles you faced since childhood weren't just random battles. They were symptoms of a curse trying to continue. You are not just healing, you are becoming the root of a healed generation. You are not just rising, you are lifting an entire lineage with you. You are not just stepping into purpose, you are opening a path your family never walked before. Today's obedience became a door your descendants will walk through without even knowing the price you paid to open it. The shadows that once clung to your family do not have permission to cling to you anymore. The heaviness that used to define your emotional world is losing its grip. The spiritual weight that once sat on your shoulders is breaking. You are walking into clarity, difficult to explain, but impossible to deny. And as you move forward, heaven whispers the truth you need to hear. You were never fighting alone. You were fighting with angels at your side, with heaven cheering your smallest step, with God orchestrating the shifts you couldn't see. What broke today will not rebuild. What fell apart will not return. What weakened will not regain strength. You ended something ancient, and heaven celebrates you for it. You step into a deeper revelation now. Chosen one, the unveiling of how your light exposed plots you never saw, strategies that were forming quietly against you, and intentions that hid behind friendly faces or familiar environments. What you did today did more than shift your timeline. More than break generational patterns, it exposed schemes that were relying on your blindness. Darkness depends on shadows. It depends on distraction. It depends on you being too overwhelmed, too tired, or too discouraged to notice what is happening around you. But when your spirit awakened today, light surged outward, and what was hidden could no longer hide. There are moments in your life where heaven chooses to remove the veil, not as a punishment, not as a warning, but as a gift of clarity, a gift of discernment, a gift of spiritual vision. And that's what today was. You didn't just see differently because you were thinking harder. You saw differently because your spirit rose into a higher level of awareness. As the prophet wrote in the scroll of Habakkuk, chapter 2, verse 1, I will stand at my watch. I will look to see what he will say to me. Today, heaven positioned you on that watchtower, elevated, perceptive, awake, higher perspective, higher awareness, higher spiritual altitude. When heaven lifts you into that view, you begin to notice patterns that once slipped by unnoticed. Conversations feel different. Motives become clearer. Atmospheres shift around certain people. Your spirit reacts faster, warning you, guiding you, protecting you. It's not paranoia, it's discernment. It's not overthinking, it's divine insight, sharpening inside you. What you did today caused your inner light to intensify, and when light intensifies, it exposes. It reveals what once hid in comfort. It reveals the shape of attacks before they manifest. It reveals the intentions behind invitations, opportunities, or relationships that once felt harmless. It reveals the truth behind every mask. And for the first time in a long time, darkness felt naked around you. You have to understand this. Not every battle you avoided was because nothing was happening. Some battles dissolved simply because the enemy saw you coming, with a light that exposed every strategy he planned. Darkness cannot operate where light stands firm. And today, you stood in that light without even realizing you carried it. Heaven wants you to know that your spiritual sensitivity is increasing. Your intuition isn't random. Your sudden moments of discomfort around certain people aren't emotional, they are spiritual alarms. The anger you felt without explanation, the shifting inside your chest, the sudden quietness in your spirit, these are signs of your discernment waking up. You are beginning to perceive atmospheres, spiritual climates, intentions, energies. You are reading hearts, not words. You are sensing motives, not actions. You are discerning spirits, not personalities. This is why some people have grown suddenly distant. Your light makes them uncomfortable, not because you've done anything wrong, but because your presence disrupts the parts of them they hide from the world. Some cannot stand near you long because you make their shadows visible even to themselves. This is also why certain opportunities closed mysteriously. You thought it was rejection, but it was protection. Heaven exposed what you didn't see. Not all open doors lead to blessing. Some lead to bondage. And the light in you revealed which was which. Do you remember the heaviness that tried to attach itself to you earlier this week? That whisper of discouragement that made no sense, that sudden fog in your mind? that strange weariness, that unexpected confusion, those were not coincidences. They were spiritual attempts to dim your light before today's awakening. But when you made that choice, your choice of alignment, obedience, or surrender, the fog lifted and the schemes were exposed. You saw more clearly. Your heart discerned more deeply. Your spirit reacted more quickly. This is spiritual maturity. This is growth. This is elevation. And now that your light has exposed what was hidden, heaven needs you to understand something crucial. You are no longer walking into traps unaware. You are not easily deceived anymore. You are not spiritually blind. You are not vulnerable in the way you once were. Darkness has lost its advantage, the advantage of secrecy. You are becoming someone the enemy must study carefully, because your discernment disrupts every strategy he tries to form. And this is why heaven celebrated you today. Not because you fought loudly, but because you perceived quietly. Not because you shouted, but because you saw. Not because you conquered, but because you discerned. Your light is growing. Chosen one. And with every increase of light, more shadows fall away. More schemes collapse. More strategies dissolve. More truth comes into view. This is what heaven wants you to carry. The awareness that you are becoming spiritually untouchable, not because you avoid danger, but because danger cannot hide from you anymore. You move now into the moment where heaven turns the page for you. Chosen one. Not softly, not slowly, but decisively, like a divine hand, closing an old chapter and revealing a fresh one written with ink that glows. What you did today triggered more than a ripple, more than exposure, more than breaking generational shadows. It triggered transition, the kind that doesn't ask permission, the kind that doesn't wait for perfect conditions, the kind that arrives when the spirit is finally mature enough to handle what comes next. You may not feel different yet. Transition rarely announces itself with trumpets. Sometimes it begins as a quiet shift inside you, the sense that something is ending even if nothing in your physical world has changed. Sometimes it feels like outgrowing emotions that once controlled you. Sometimes it feels like losing interest in things that used to comfort you. Sometimes it feels like stepping into a new room with the lights off, sensing the shape of what's coming even before you see it. But whether you feel it or not, heaven has already turned the page, as was spoken in the sacred texts of old. In the book of Isaiah, chapter 43, verse 19, "Behold, I am doing a new thing. Now it springs forth. Do you not perceive it?" That question, do you not perceive it, is the whisper echoing over your spirit right now. God isn't asking if you can see it with your eyes. He's asking if you can sense it with your spirit. Because the new thing has already begun. The shift is already alive. The page has already flipped. This is why certain things don't feel the same anymore. This is why your spirit feels sensitive, alert, awake. This is why the old patterns no longer satisfy you. This is why certain emotions feel foreign now. This is why your intuition is louder. This is why you're noticing things you used to overlook. Your spirit isn't malfunctioning, it's transitioning. What heaven turned today cannot be turned back. You're stepping into a season where things will begin aligning faster than you expect. Conversations will shift. Opportunities will appear. Certain doors will close abruptly. Not to punish you, but to protect your next chapter. Certain relationships will feel lighter or heavier, depending on whether they belong in your new season or your old one. Pay attention to that. Pay attention to the quiet signals. When heaven turns a page, everything connected to the old chapter begins to loosen its grip. You may feel people distancing themselves. You may feel certain desires fading. You may feel a sudden urge to reevaluate your priorities. This isn't confusion, it's clarity disguised as discomfort. It's heaven rearranging your inner world so you can step into the outer changes with confidence. The turning of the page also means heaven has begun releasing what was previously withheld. There were blessings, insights, revelations, and opportunities that could not come to you before because your spirit wasn't in the right position. But today shifted the position. Today unlocked readiness. Today signaled maturity. Today said, "They are prepared now." Oh, and heaven responded, "You may not see the evidence yet, but signs are already forming behind the scenes." Think of the way dawn approaches not instantly, but with subtle changes in the sky long before the sun rises. Your new season is in that stage now. The colors are shifting. The horizon is brightening. The atmosphere feels different. You are stepping out of survival. You are stepping out of stagnation. You are stepping out of confusion. You are stepping out of cycles that dragged you in circles for years. The page has turned. The chapter is changing. The story is moving forward. And heaven is proud of you, not because you did everything perfectly, but because you aligned your heart. Heaven moves for aligned hearts faster than it moves for perfect behavior. Perfection does not trigger. Transition obedience does. Surrender does. Awareness does. There is something sacred about the moment. A chosen one steps into a new chapter. The atmosphere around them changes. The spiritual pressure shifts. Old burdens fall away. Old temptations lose their power. Old emotions stop holding the same weight. You are entering that moment now. You are stepping into growth you prayed for. Even if you didn't know how it would come, you are stepping into clarity you once begged heaven to send. You are stepping into strength you didn't realize you had. But before you move forward, heaven is asking you to make one simple declaration, a seal to mark your agreement with the turning of the page. Chosen one. Comment: I step forward below. 3 words. Und erfuhr. But they are a doorway. When you write them, you are not typing, you are stepping. You are agreeing with heaven's timing. You are acknowledging that the old is over and the new has begun. You are declaring that you will not fight the transition, you will walk into it. This chapter is yours now, and heaven is already writing the next line. You walk now into the quiet place where heaven crowns you. Chosen one, not with a crown of gold that glitters before human eyes, but with a crown woven from endurance, obedience, and unseen victories. This honor does not descend with noise. It comes in silence, in private moments when no one is watching, when your heart chooses God, even when your emotions fight you. Heaven does not crown those who perform. Heaven crowns those who persist. There is a sacred image unfolding over your life right now, a garden at dawn. The world still sleeps. The air is still dark, and yet a soft, early light touches the petals before anyone notices. That light is your obedience. That garden is your spirit, and heaven is the gardener tending to it with careful, intentional hands. Scripture says in the Gospel of John, chapter 15, verse 2, every branch that bears fruit, he prunes, so that it may bear more fruit. This pruning This quiet shaping is your crowning. Your fruit is beginning to multiply. Your light is beginning to intensify. Your heart is beginning to strengthen in ways you didn't even know were possible. What God saw in your hidden moments today became the reason heaven placed a symbolic crown upon you, the crown of maturity. This kind of crowning doesn't come after applause. It comes after internal victories, the kind no one praises, because no one sees. It comes after you walk away from what would have destroyed you. It comes after you hold your peace instead of reacting in anger. It comes after you silence the temptation to self-sabotage. It comes after you choose healing instead of repeating old wounds. You may not feel crowned, but heaven sees what earth does not. There's another image heaven keeps showing over you, a flame protected by cupped hands. The world may blow against it. Storms may rage, but those hands never open. That flame is you, chosen one. That protection is God Himself. And the crown set on you today is the evidence that the flame survived the wind. Now, heaven invites you to continue growing, to continue rising, to continue standing. And if this journey has been nourishing your spirit, if these words have been water to your dry places, if they have guided you like a lantern through dark corridors, then let your heart respond in gratitude, however it feels, led. A simple like is like adding a single petal to a blooming flower, small, but meaningful. A share is like passing a lit candle into the hands of someone still walking in the night. A subscribe is like planting your roots in fertile soil, ensuring you continue receiving the nourishment your spirit has been craving. And a donation, no matter the size, is like placing a cup of oil beside a lamp, so its glow never fades, not just for you, but for countless others who need this same light. There is no pressure in this, only invitation. Only sincerity, only the gentle truth that spiritual gardens thrive when tended with care. You've been walking through these words like someone journeying through a forest at sunrise, the path still dim, but slowly illuminated with each step, and now the light is touching the trees in a way it didn't before, because your spirit is opening, your heart is receiving, your environment is shifting. This crowning is not symbolic, only it is functional. It changes how the unseen realm acknowledges you. It shifts how heaven entrusts you with deeper insight. It alters how darkness approaches you. A crowned spirit carries authority. A crowned spirit carries clarity. A crowned spirit carries weight. Even your relationships will feel this shift. People will sense something different about you. Some will be drawn to your peace. Some will recoil from your growth. Some will envy your strength. Some will respect your silence. But all will notice the shift, even if they don't understand it. Because when heaven crowns you, your posture changes. You walk differently, not with pride, but with inner steadiness. You speak differently, not louder, but clearer. You choose differently, not perfectly, but wisely. You respond differently, not emotionally, but spiritually. And perhaps the most powerful part is this: you begin to understand your own worth. Not the worth the world assigns, not the worth people overlook, not the worth that fluctuates with emotion, but the worth heaven stamped onto your soul before you were born. This is why today mattered so deeply. This is why heaven celebrated you. This is why your obedience triggered something greater than you realized. The crown placed over you is not the end of a journey, it is the beginning of a new level. A level of influence, a level of clarity, a level of resilience. a level of spiritual authority that only comes through inner transformation. Walk with it. Grow into it. Let heaven finish the work it has begun in you. You step now into a realm few ever glimpse. Chosen one. The moment where the enemy's file on your life is burned by heaven. Every accusation, every spiritual record of your past mistakes, every distorted identity the enemy tried to attach to you, today, heaven set it ablaze. This is not metaphor alone, this is spiritual reality. Something that once existed in the archives of darkness was destroyed the moment you aligned with God's intention earlier today. There has always been a spiritual strategy against you, not because you are weak, but because you are powerful. Darkness studies what threatens it. And from the moment you were born, the enemy sensed something unusual in your spirit. Something radiant, something defiant, something chosen. So he kept a file on you. Every wound, every insecurity, every fear, every weakness, every moment of pain that could be used against your purpose. He believed that if he could gather enough evidence, he could trap you in cycles that looked like destiny, but were actually sabotage. He collected moments where you doubted yourself, moments where you fell into old patterns, moments where you felt unworthy, moments where trauma spoke louder than truth. He wasn't collecting because he had power, he was collecting because he had fear. You have been a threat long before you realized you were chosen. But today, yes, today, something changed. Heaven overruled every accusation. The voice of God thundered in the book of Exodus, chapter 14. Verse 14, the Lord will fight for you. You need only to be still. And today, God fought for you in ways you didn't see. While you simply obeyed, heaven acted. While you took one small step of alignment, heaven completely erased the enemy's legal grounds over your life. That file, once used as spiritual leverage, is now nothing but ash in the realm of darkness. You need to understand the weight of that. Heaven does not burn what is still needed. Heaven burns what is finished. Everything the enemy recorded was tied to a version of you that no longer exists. The shadow self, the wounded self, the unhealed self, the confused self, the fearful self, the reactive self, the self that didn't yet know its authority or identity. Today's obedience declared to the unseen realm that you have stepped beyond that version, and because of that, God wiped the record clean. This is why certain past emotions feel lighter now. This is why memories that once stung now feel distant. This is why guilt doesn't cling the same way. This is why shame lost its grip. When heaven destroys the file, the enemy loses the language he once used to accuse you. Some of the heaviness you've carried for years wasn't from what you'd done, it was from what darkness kept replaying against you. Like a whisper reminding you of failures long forgiven. Like a shadow repeating stories that were no longer true. Like spiritual chains rattling even after they were unlocked. But now, those whispers have no authority. Those shadows have no substance. Those chains have nothing to cling to, because heaven erased the archive. Imagine a courtroom where the prosecutor rises confidently to speak, only to discover his folder is empty, every page blank, every accusation missing. That is what happened today. Hell had gathered evidence, but heaven deleted the file. Your identity has been rewritten according to truth, according to destiny, according to divine intention. You must also understand this. When heaven destroys a file, It creates a new one, a record of who you are becoming, a record of spiritual strength, a record of transformation, a record of obedience, a record of victories you didn't even realize you won. Heaven writes differently than darkness. Heaven doesn't keep lists of failures. Heaven records every moment you choose. Light today added pages of strength to that record, pages of breakthrough, pages of new identity, pages the enemy cannot access and cannot erase. And you will begin to notice signs of this new identity emerging. Conversations that once triggered you now leave you unmoved. Temptations that once controlled you now feel hollow. People who once manipulated you now lose their influence. Thoughts that once spiraled now quiet faster. Old emotions rise, but they no longer reign. This is not coincidence. This is what freedom feels like before it becomes visible. Even the way heaven speaks to you will change. The clarity you feel, the intuition that sharpens, the peace that settles, the confidence that begins to rise in your chest. These are signs that the old record has been removed and replaced with truth. You are entering a season where the enemy cannot use your past against you. He has no file. He has no evidence. He has no voice that can override heaven's verdict. And heaven's verdict over you is simple: chosen, covered, redeemed, rising. What once accused you has been silenced. What once held you has been broken. What once defined you has been erased. Walk forward knowing this. Hell lost its case against you today. You step now into the moment where heaven moves your timeline forward. Chosen one, not inch by inch, not in cautious steps, but in a quiet acceleration that only God can orchestrate. What happened today? Your obedience, your shift, your awakening became the signal heaven had been waiting for. There are seasons when God watches, seasons when God guides, and seasons when God waits. But there are also seasons when God moves, and you have just entered one of them, in the Spirit. It looks like gears unlocking, deep, ancient mechanisms within your destiny beginning to turn faster than before. The things that once felt stuck, jammed, or held back are loosening. The parts of your story that felt frozen are warming. The dreams that seemed postponed indefinitely are trembling as if something behind them is beginning to push. Acceleration doesn't always feel like motion. Sometimes it feels like clarity. Sometimes it feels like sudden peace. Sometimes it feels like a door closing only for another one to open moments later. Sometimes it feels like losing interest in what was never meant to stay. You are sensing the shift, even now, not with your eyes, but with your spirit. As the writings of David declare in the book of Psalms, chapter 27, verse 1, "The Lord is my light and my salvation, whom shall I fear?" This is the banner over your acceleration. You are being moved forward by light, not pressure, by revelation, not rush, by divine timing, not human striving. God is not pushing you. He is clearing the way in front of you so that you can walk without fear into what He prepared long ago. There is something powerful about spiritual acceleration. It often begins invisibly. You won't always see the gears turning, but you'll feel the results. You'll notice how certain burdens lift without explanation. You'll notice how opportunities find you without you chasing them. You'll notice how wisdom appears at the exact moment you need it. You'll notice how timing suddenly aligns in ways that once felt impossible, because heaven has stepped into your timeline with intention. There were delays in your life, some caused by spiritual resistance, some by emotional wounds, some by misalignment, some by timing that wasn't ready. But when you shifted today, heaven removed blockages that had been holding back blessings assigned to your name. Acceleration means your prayers from years ago are suddenly rising. Acceleration means your healing begins catching up with your calling. Acceleration means what was meant for you no longer has to crawl, it begins to run. Acceleration means your future starts pulling you instead of you chasing it. You may not feel prepared, but heaven knows when readiness arrives. And today, something in your spirit crossed the line between waiting and becoming. That small moment of obedience became a spiritual gateway, one that unlocked a faster pace, a clear path, a lighter burden. Think of it this way. You were walking through mud for years. Every step felt heavy. Every decision felt exhausting. Every season felt longer than expected. But now the ground is drying beneath your feet. What once slowed you now releases you. You are stepping out of heaviness and into momentum. And this momentum will reach every part of your life. Emotionally, you will heal faster than you ever have before. Mentally, you will understand things that used to confuse you. Spiritually, you will grow at a pace that surprises even you. Relationally, you will be guided to connections that align with your purpose. Financially, you will see opportunities unfold that once seemed out of reach. Purpose-wise, you will begin stepping into roles you were avoiding out of fear. Because acceleration doesn't just move your circumstances, it moves you. And yet, chosen one, heaven is asking for one thing from you in this moment: agreement. Not striving, not effort, not stress, just agreement. Heaven accelerates what you agree with. When your spirit says yes, the timeline responds. Right now, heaven is opening a new pace for you, and your agreement becomes the key that locks it in. That agreement can be as simple as a number one chosen as a symbol of divine movement, divine order, and divine progression. A number you release as a way of saying, I accept the acceleration. I align with the shift. I'm ready for what's coming. Chosen one. Comment 555 below. Not for the algorithm. Not for formality, but for alignment. This number in the spirit represents transformation, transition, and forward motion. When you type it, you are acknowledging that heaven has turned the gears, that your season has shifted, and that your steps are now guided into an accelerated future. Your timeline is moving. Your story is unfolding. Your pace is increasing. And heaven is leading every step. You step now into the widening space of your influence. Chosen one, a space heaven began expanding. The moment you aligned your spirit earlier today, you may not feel influential. You may not feel powerful. You may even feel like you are still healing, still learning, still finding your footing. But influence in the kingdom of God does not begin with a platform. It begins with a shift inside the heart. And that shift has already happened in you. Your obedience, your clarity, your rising light. These things are not contained within your private world. They radiate, they reach, they touch atmospheres around you in ways you have not fully understood. Influence is not about being known by many, it's about being felt by those heaven assigns to your path. And right now, heaven is stretching the borders of your impact. As the Word of God declares in the book of Joshua, chapter 1, Verse 9, Be strong and courageous, for the Lord your God will be with you wherever you go. This is the foundation of your influence. Not charisma, not force, not perfection. Presence. God's presence walking with you, resting on you, flowing through you. You may think your daily routines are ordinary, but your presence is not. You don't walk into rooms the way others do. You bring something with you, peace where there was tension, clarity where there was confusion, grounding where there was chaos, and people feel it. Some don't understand it. Some are drawn to it. Some are intimidated by it. Some are comforted by it. But all feel it. You're beginning to notice this yourself. The way people look at you differently. The way conversations shift around your energy. The way certain individuals feel safe near you without knowing why. The way others feel exposed around you, as if you see deeper than their words. This is influence not loud, but undeniable. Your influence expands in layers. First layer, internal authority. The authority you have over your emotions, your thoughts, your decisions. You broke patterns that once ruled you. You quieted storms that once consumed you. You disciplined parts of yourself that used to run wild. This private mastery becomes the fuel of public impact. Second layer, environmental influence. Your presence shifts the tone of a room. The moment you enter, the atmosphere recalibrates. Peace rises. Tension eases. Darkness pulls back. Angels accompany you. You feel it, even if you don't fully grasp it yet. Third layer, relational influence. Your words carry weight now, not because you're louder, but because you're aligned. People will come to you for advice without you offering. They will confide in you without explanation. They will feel drawn to you because your spirit stands taller, clearer, steadier. Fourth layer, spiritual influence. This is the layer that grows as you rise. Your prayers hit harder. Your discernment sharpens. Your authority in the spirit realm becomes harder for darkness to ignore. You are developing a spiritual signature, one that hell recognizes, one that heaven honors. You may wonder, why me? Why now? Why is heaven expanding me? Because heaven always expands what is faithful. And you have been faithful in hidden places. You have endured silently. You have grown without validation. You have kept going when no one clapped. You have chosen the right thing when it cost you. Heaven rewards that kind of faithfulness with influence, not for ego, but for purpose. There are people assigned to your rising. People who will heal because you healed. People who will break free because you broke free. People who will believe because you believe. People who will stand because they watched you rise when everything tried to break you. You are becoming a spiritual compass for others. Your life is becoming a map. Your journey is becoming a message. This influence will not always look dramatic. Sometimes it looks like being the calmest person in the room. Sometimes it looks like walking away instead of arguing. Sometimes it looks like responding with wisdom instead of emotion. Sometimes it looks like being kind when you have every reason not to be. Influence in the kingdom is often quiet, but it is deep. And heaven is trusting you with more weight, more authority, more discernment, more responsibility. Because you've shown heaven that you don't misuse what you're given. You carry it with humility, with reverence, with care. And that is why your influence will continue to expand, not as a sudden explosion, but as a steady unfolding, like dawn spreading across the horizon. like branches stretching toward the sun, like roots deepening in good soil. You are becoming someone generations will thank God for. You are becoming someone darkness fears. You are becoming someone heaven can send into complicated places. You are becoming someone whose presence marks territory with light. Your influence is no longer potential, it is active. No longer hidden, it is emerging. No longer preparing, it is beginning. Heaven sees it. Hell feels it. And soon, you will fully recognize it. You step now into the sacred truth of what happens when God begins to trust you with more. Chosen one. This is not a moment that comes lightly. Heaven does not place weight on unstable foundations, nor entrust deeper assignments to spirits that waver at every wind. But today, through that single act of obedience, you proved something in the unseen realm. You are ready for more than what you have carried so far. This more is not about pressure, it's about purpose. When God increases your responsibilities, He does not burden you, He expands you. It is like stretching a vessel so it can hold greater oil. It is like widening a path so more can walk behind you. It is like deepening a well so it never runs dry. Heaven sees your capacity growing, and because of that, your calling is shifting, as Jesus Himself declared in the Gospel of Luke, chapter 16, verse 10. Whoever can be trusted with little can also be trusted with much. And there is a sacred weight that comes with this stage of your journey, not the weight of stress, but the weight of glory, responsibility, and spiritual maturity. You begin to sense that heaven is positioning you differently. You feel it in your thoughts. You feel it in your discernment. You feel it in the way your spirit responds to things you once ignored. Being trusted with more means heaven is sharpening you, refining you, preparing you, expanding the borders of who you are and who you are becoming. This stage of elevation requires depth, not surface-level faith, not emotional faith, not fragile faith, but grounded faith, faith that has survived storms, faith that has held on in silence, faith that has wrestled with God and come out with a new name. When God trusts you with more, He doesn't simply hand you assignments, He reshapes you internally so that you can carry them. You step now into the sacred truth of what happens when God begins to trust you with more. Chosen one. This is not a moment that comes lightly. Heaven does not place weight on unstable foundations, nor entrust deeper assignments to spirits that waver at every wind. But today, through that single act of obedience, you proved something in the unseen realm. You are ready for more than what you have carried so far. This more is not about pressure, it's about purpose. That's why your heart feels heavier sometimes, as if something is forming inside you. It is. Purpose carries weight, and heaven is teaching your spirit how to hold it without breaking. You may find your dreams shifting. You may sense new desires rising. You may feel drawn to things you once resisted. You may feel distanced from things that once felt familiar. This is alignment, not loss. Heaven is removing what no longer matches the you that is emerging. Nothing about this discomfort is punishment. It is preparation. Heaven is preparing you to operate at a higher level emotionally, spiritually, mentally, and even relationally. You are stepping into a season where what you carry will matter. Your words will matter. Your choices will matter. Your presence will matter. And because of this, God is shaping you with extra care. There is a reason the journey has intensified. Heaven stretches those who are meant to carry influence. Heaven tests those who will carry authority. Heaven refines those who will walk in deeper purpose. Your sensitivity is increasing because your assignment is increasing. Your discernment is sharpening because your influence is sharpening. Your intuition is deepening because your responsibility is deepening. To be trusted by God is one of the greatest honors a soul can receive. It means heaven sees you as stable, as dependable, as mature, as teachable, as responsible, as chosen. When God trusts you with more, He also protects you from what wastes your strength. And so, you will notice certain people drifting away not because of conflict, but because their energy no longer matches your calling. You may notice certain conversation draining you. You may notice your spirit rejecting certain environments. You may notice your heart guiding you toward stillness, toward prayer, toward clarity. Nothing about this shift is random. Nothing about this isolation is accidental, and not chosen for comfort, chosen for impact. You will be asked to forgive deeper, to listen closer, to speak wiser, to pray stronger, to walk gentler, to stand firmer. This is what it means to be trusted with more. And though the path may narrow, though distractions may fall away, though the journey may feel different than before, there will also be a strange new strength rising within you. A quiet confidence, a holy seriousness, a deeper peace. You step now into the atmosphere that has begun shifting around you. Chosen one, an atmosphere responding not to your circumstances, but to the transformation happening within you. What surrounds you is changing because you are changing. And heaven wants you to understand this clearly. The shift you feel around you is not imaginary. It is spiritual. It is real. It is the echo of a victory you triggered earlier today. There is an image heaven places before you now. Imagine a room filled with dust. For years, the dust settled quietly, layering itself over everything: memories, emotions, patterns, thoughts. But the moment a window opens, even just a crack, the air begins to move. The dust lifts. Things shift. The room wakes up. This is your atmosphere now. Your obedience opened the window. Heaven breathed in. As the ancient words recorded in Zechariah, chapter 4, verse 6, declare, "Not by might, nor by power, but by my Spirit, says the Lord Almighty." Your atmosphere shifted not because you forced anything, not because you tried harder, but because the Spirit of God moved around you gently, decisively, purposefully. You are stepping into a climate that no longer matches your past. The air around you feels cleaner. The spiritual pressure feels lighter. The heaviness that once followed you is loosening its grip. You may notice your sleep changing, your thoughts becoming clearer, your emotions feeling steadier, your pace becoming calmer, your decisions becoming sharper. That is the sign of an atmosphere realigning with heaven's intention for your life. There's another image heaven shows you: a boat on still water. The boat doesn't move loudly. It shifts slowly at first, adjusting to a new current. You are that boat. Heaven changed your current. You are drifting away from what once drained your energy and drifting toward what strengthens your spirit. Even relationships will begin to feel this shift. Some will move closer. Some will drift quietly away. Not out of conflict, but out of misalignment. When your atmosphere shifts, everything connected to you begins to reveal its true nature. People who love growth, will be drawn to you. People who thrive in chaos will distance themselves. People who value truth will feel peace near you. People who hide in shadows will feel exposed. People who speak life will find you familiar. People who manipulate will sense their influence fading. This is not coincidence. This is atmospheric refinement. And while heaven is shaping your atmosphere, it is also shaping your voice, your presence, your impact. You are becoming the kind of person whose silence carries meaning, whose peace carries instruction, whose presence carries influence. You're not trying to shift anything. Your identity is doing it for you. Your atmosphere is also becoming fertile ground. Ideas that once struggled to grow inside you will suddenly find clarity. Dreams that felt impossible will gain momentum. Prayers you prayed long ago are beginning to bloom. Even your creativity, your discipline, your focus will feel renewed. Because where God's Spirit rests, growth becomes natural. Chosen one, if this message has been speaking to you, if these words have been guiding you like a lantern through a long hallway, then I invite you to support this journey in the gentlest, most sincere way. A like is like adding one more candle to a house that's slowly coming alive with light. A share is like handing someone else a key to the same room of peace you're walking into. A subscribe is like choosing to stay connected to a source of water in a desert season. A donación, no matter how small, is like placing a drop of oil in a lamp that lights the way for many, not as pressure, but as partnership in keeping this atmosphere alive. Your support doesn't just help the message reach others, it becomes part of the transformation you're stepping into. A seed planted into soil that's already been made fertile by heaven. And as your atmosphere shifts, heaven wants one last act of agreement from you, not for obligation, but as a way of anchoring this moment. Leave a comment below. Share what part touched you, or simply express what your heart feels. Your words in the comments become echoes, affirmations that strengthen others who are walking through the same journey. Because your atmosphere is not changing for you alone, it is changing so you can help shift the atmosphere for others. This place you're stepping into, this peace you're beginning to feel, this strength you're beginning to carry, this clarity rising within you, it is the evidence that heaven is shaping your environment to match your calling. You are not just walking into a new atmosphere, you are becoming one. You step now into the sacred celebration unfolding in heaven. Chosen one, a celebration not loud like earthly parties, not chaotic like human gatherings, but radiant, intentional, and deeply spiritual. Heaven does not rejoice lightly. Heaven does not gather without purpose. And today, heaven gathered because of you. The shift you created quiet, sincere, rooted in obedience, did more than move your timeline forward or expand your influence. It released joy, holy joy, the kind of joy that ripples through the spiritual realms like sunlight breaking through a long night. Heaven celebrates not when you are perfect, but when you align, not when you perform, but when your heart turns toward God with genuine surrender. Today, your heart turned and heaven responded. We are reminded through the voice recorded in the letter to the Hebrews, chapter 12, verse 1. Surrounded by many witnesses, lay aside every burden, cast off every sin, run with steady endurance, finish the race set. That cloud of witnesses is not poetic metaphor. It is reality. There are saints, angels, and heavenly hosts who have watched your journey not with judgment, but with compassion. They've seen the nights you cried silently. They've seen the battles you fought alone. They've seen the weight you carried when no one else knew how heavy it was. And when you chose alignment today, they did what heaven always does. At such moments they rejoiced. There is a sound in heaven that you do not hear with your ears, but your spirit has felt it. A warmth, a lightness, a sudden clarity, a sense of being carried, lifted, seen. These are the aftershocks of heavenly celebration. When heaven rejoices, the earth around you shifts. Some celebrations in heaven look like trumpets. Some look like songs. Some look like banners unfurling in the unseen realm. But the most profound celebrations look like laughter. God's laughter, bright and victorious, echoing through creation. That is the laughter you made God release today. Not laughter at you, laughter for you. Laughter that breaks chains. Laughter that releases favor. Laughter that announces to darkness, "This one is mine, and I am pleased." This celebration is not just for the moment you triggered an ongoing movement. Heaven is not merely applauding what you did. Heaven is preparing for what you are becoming. Celebrations in the Spirit are prophetic. They point forward, not backward. Heaven rejoices because it sees what you cannot yet see, the strength you are stepping into, the identity you are growing into, the victories you will soon walk in. And the celebration is layered. First layer, heaven rejoices over your awakening. For so long, something inside you felt asleep. Your confidence, your intuition, your discernment, your spiritual sensitivity. Today, something woke up. Heaven celebrates spiritual awakenings more than material blessings. Second layer, heaven rejoices over your courage. It takes courage to choose differently than your past. Courage to step away from cycles. Courage to silence old voices. Courage to rise when you have every reason to stay down. Heaven honors that courage. Third layer, heaven rejoices over your healing. The decision you made today didn't simply prevent damage, it healed damage. Some wounds within you closed without pain. Some inner echoes went silent. Healing does not always feel dramatic. Sometimes it feels like a gentle breath. Heaven sees healing moments as victories. Fourth layer, heaven rejoices over your alignment. Your steps aligned with heaven's path today. And alignment always triggers celebration because alignment accelerates destiny. Heaven loves accelerated destinies. Fifth layer, heaven rejoices because darkness lost its grip. Spiritual celebration is also spiritual announcement, an announcement to every force that once opposed you, that your spirit has risen to a level they can no longer control. There is yet another dimension to this celebration, one that few understand. When heaven celebrates you, favor is released. Not worldly luck, not random blessings. Divine favor, doors opening without effort. Opportunities finding you. Clarity arriving unannounced. Burdens lifting quietly. Strength rising from places that once felt empty. You may notice signs of this soon. Conversations becoming easier. Solutions appearing unexpectedly. Opportunities resurfacing you thought were gone. Peace replacing anxiety before you even pray. A sense of rightness, even without explanation. This is favor. Heaven's applause turning into heaven's action. And the most beautiful part, you didn't earn this celebration. You awakened it. Heaven celebrates not perfection, but movement. Movement toward the person God designed you to be. This celebration won't fade quickly. It will follow you. It will shape your days. It will soften what once felt hard. It will illuminate what once felt dark. Because when heaven celebrates, heaven also blesses. You step now into the radiance that has begun settling over your life. Chosen one, a radiance not born from achievement, appearance, or earthly success, but from the inner transformation that has unfolded across this journey. Heaven wants you to understand something vital. When God laughs in victory over your life, that laughter becomes light, and today, that light rests on you. This radiance is not loud. It is not boastful. It does not seek attention. It is the quiet glow of someone who has walked through storms and come out carrying wisdom. It is the glow of someone who has been refined, not destroyed, strengthened, not hardened, softened, not broken. Today, you are stepping into that glow fully, consciously, unmistakably, as the ancient words recorded in the book of Revelation, chapter 21, verse 5 proclaim, "Behold, I am making all things new." That newness is not ahead of you, it is on you. You carry a new posture, peace replacing anxiety before you even pray, a sense of rightness, even without explanation. This is favor, heaven's applause turning into heaven's action. And the most beautiful part, you didn't earn this celebration. You awakened it. Heaven celebrates not perfection, but movement. Movement toward the person God designed you to be. This celebration won't fade quickly. It will follow you. It will shape your days. It will soften what once felt hard. Your inner world no longer pulls you into storms. You've learned to stand above them. This radiance is the evidence of transformation. It is the sign that heaven's work in you is not temporary. It is the sign that what broke in you has healed correctly. It is the sign that you are no longer who you were before this shift. There is an image heaven lays before you now, a mirror fogged after a long shower. At first you see only blur, only shapes, only shadows. But slowly, as the air shifts, the mirror clears, and your reflection emerges, not changed, but revealed. This is what is happening with your identity. Heaven is clearing the fog so you finally see the version of you that was always there, the chosen version, the strong version, the awakened version. Your radiance is not something you create, it is something you uncover. You are becoming familiar with this new glow. You're starting to trust the strength inside you instead of fearing it. You're starting to trust your intuition instead of doubting it. You're starting to trust God's plan instead of questioning every step. This radiance also affects how heaven moves around you. Once you step into your true identity, the spiritual realm responds differently. Doors that were once locked begin to open because you now carry the authority to walk through them. Attacks that once overwhelmed you weaken because your spirit has outgrown their reach. Patterns that clung to you for years fall away because your radiance burns them on contact. The radiance heaven releases is also a signal to angels, to assignments, to blessings that have been waiting for your spirit to rise into the right posture. You are stepping into a version of yourself that heaven can entrust with more. Because this identity is steady, grounded, surrendered, and aligned, and darkness sees this radiance too, not with intimidation, but with resignation, because your glow is proof that their strategies failed. Every attempt to wear you down, every attempt to confuse you, every attempt to distract you, every attempt to break you, it all collapsed when you aligned with God today. This is why heaven laughed in victory. This is why heaven celebrated. This is why the atmosphere around you shifted. This is why your future began accelerating. Because the radiance you are walking into now is the sign that the old season has truly ended, and the new one has officially begun. Your radiance is not fragile. It is forged. Forged in battles, you survived. Forged in pain, you outgrew. Forged in prayers, whispered with trembling lips. Forged in nights, when you kept moving even without strength. And now, heaven says, walk forward, shine without apology. Carry what I placed on you. Step boldly into the path that is opening before you. You are no longer stepping into darkness. You are carrying the light that pushes it back. You are no longer walking with uncertainty. You are guided by a clarity your past self never knew. You are no longer hoping for transformation. You are living inside it. Chosen one. You are stepping forward as someone new. Radiant, steady, strengthened, aligned, and undeniably chosen. Chosen one, take a breath and look at how far your spirit has traveled. You didn't just listen, you journeyed. You rose. You awakened. And heaven has witnessed every moment of transformation that unfolded inside you. What you carry now is not just knowledge, it is alignment. It is clarity. It is spiritual authority stretching into your next season. As you step forward from this message, know this: the light resting on you is not fading. The shift you felt is not temporary. The atmosphere around you is not returning to what it was. You are walking out of this moment with a new posture, a new strength, and a new awareness of who you truly are. And if this journey touched you, if you felt seen, strengthened, awakened, or guided, then let your heart respond in the most natural, sincere way. A like is a small flame added to a fire that warms others. A share becomes a lifeline to someone walking through the darkness you once knew. A comment, even a few words, becomes a seed of encouragement for others rising along with you. A subscribe is simply staying connected to the voice that has been guiding your spirit. You're not just supporting a message, you're helping build a space where chosen ones like you rise together,